I'm old and bald. If I can do this, anyone can.
We are indeed. We're there. Done it.
Congratulations.
Thanks, mate.
Wow.
Hey-o. It's exciting, isn't it?
See you.
Hey up troops, it's A Littleton here again with another video, and this time we're going to be looking at 6 tips to rank up in Siege. Now some of these tips cover both attack and defense, some are only for defense, some are only for attack, but all 6 of these tips help me improve my game and get to the elo that I play in today. Now yes, of course, there's far more to the game than the 6 things I'm about to tell you, but if you implement these 6 things into your game today, I guarantee you'll start to see results. I'll do a part 2, I'm sure, in the future of another 6 things we need to consider as well, because there's so much in Siege, of course. I think that's enough of me waffling on. Let's get stuck into it. So tip number 1 is select the right roles / select the right operators / make sure you've got the right operator composition. Within Siege, there's 3 roles. There's entry, there's flex, and there's support. Most operators fit within that, some flick between the two. If you're looking at your team in the prep phase or in the operator select screen, bear in mind you can change your operator in the prep phase now. If you're looking, you see we have a Sledge, we have an Ash, we have a Twitch, and we have a Finker. You know that none of those 4 operators can open reinforced walls. The way that I think before the start of a round is, let's just say we're attacking CCTV on club. I know that we need to open either the CCTV main breach or the construction wall in con. I know that that's what we need to do to give ourselves the bigger chance of winning the round. Now, don't get me wrong, you don't have to open the wall, but with the wall open, you significantly increase your chances of winning the round. The same goes on defense as well, but we'll come to that in a second. So, looking at that again, if I see Sledge, I see Ash, I see Twitch, and I see Finker, or I see Zafir, Ying, Jackal, and Capitao, I know that none of the walls are going to be getting opened. But if you do see Sledge, you see Ash, you see Twitch, and you see Finker, you know all 4 of those operators can get denial off the wall if you were to play a Thermite, a Habana, or an Ace, or even a Maverick, obviously. But all 4, Finker can nade it, Twitch can use a Twitch drone, Ash can Ash charge it, and Sledge could use nades as well. So all 4 of those operators could get denial off the wall for you. The way I think is quite selfish. I think, how have I got the best chance of winning this round? And yes, you have to play operators that aren't as exciting sometimes. I've just learned to love Thermite and Ace, man, and even Hib. They're the operators I play the most, but that's the way I think. So you've got to get the right composition. The same goes again on defense. Let's just say we're defending Oregon upstairs. I know we need 3 rotates. We need the kids rotate, we need the attic rotate, and we need the top white rotate. If I see that we've got a Jaeger, a Bandit, a Valkyrie, and a Mozzie, I know that what they're going to be bringing, unless they're going to use C4s, which you don't want to do, isn't going to be able to make you the rotates that you need. So then I start, I normally play smoke up there anyway, but then I think, right, I give myself the better chance of winning the round with the team if I can take an operator that can make rotates. So, you know, you play a smoke, you play a mute, you play a Capcam with impacts, you play an alibi or a maestro or an oryx with the bailiff or whatever it is that's going to give you that chance to win the round. Again, you end up playing more support than you want to if you use that technique. Don't get me wrong, it's more fun to have a round as Bandit than it is as Smoke, potentially. I don't know, because I really enjoy playing the support role, but that's just the way I think. I'll look at, before the start of the round, I'll look at where we're playing. Right, we're playing downstairs on club. I know we need 2 rotates, at least. So you're going to look at, right, okay, I could take a Vigil, or I could take a Melusi or a Legion with impacts. But then you've also got to ask the other team, put members of your team as well, maybe an all chat, or maybe use your mic. So you've just got to make sure you've got the right composition there. I hope I've made sense in what I mean by that. You know, if you see a Jaeger, a Bandit, a Valkyrie, and a Mozzie, you know you've got something to catch nades, so you don't necessarily need Wamai. You've not really got anything to slow an enemy down, so you can maybe take Melusi, then you've got your impacts to make rotate. So just think about the operator composition. It's the same with attack and defense. You've got to make sure you get the right mix in there. As I said, sometimes it can be a bit like, oh, wow, I've got to play Thermite or Ace again. I'd rather play Zoph or Ash or Twitch. But you're going to give yourself more of a chance of winning the round. You know, you can't rely on your team to do it for you all the time in solo queue. Make sure you've got the right operator composition. Tip number 2 is all about drones. These bad boys. Now, that actually looks like an album cover, doesn't it? Stick a parental advisor explicit language sticker in the corner of this. That looks quality. Hottest album of 2022. Right, drones. Why am I talking about drones? I don't want to be too derogatory when I'm talking about lower elo players, but lower elo players don't use drones anywhere near enough. The thing that annoys me more than anything else with drones, and this really does my head in, is when people do this. They just drive it straight into the site and lose the drone at the start of the round. A drone is probably the most important utility an attacker has. Even amongst Ash charges, Sledge's hammer, Ace Selma charges, and everything else, the drone is the most important utility in my opinion. Each attacker gets 2 of them, of course. Now, when it comes to droning, the first thing that you want to do in the prep phase is, one, if you're playing ranked, you usually know what the site's going to be. If you're playing casual, it's slightly different. But these tips still go the same for casual as well. So, the first thing you want to do with your drone is get it pre-placed in the room that you plan on entering into the map from. If I'm attacking Aviator games, there's no point me going and putting a drone in Aviator when I'm nowhere. I've got to get to Aviator before the drone's any use, if you know what. There's no point me knowing 3 people are on site when I've still got to get there. If I know I'm going to be attacking from the north side like I do on this map, put the drone either in bathroom, or I like to use this one in Astro because it has 2 functions. I'll show you now. You jump up onto the flag, then onto this rafter, into this beam. You can see now that also, not only does it double as an entry drone for Astro, you can now also see Astro stairs, so it's a flank drone as well. So that's that one sorted. That means now I can use this not that, sorry, I want the second drone. It's embarrassing. I want the second drone now to do the droning around. I'm not going to drone around all of this, but you know, you check behind the desk. You know, you can check trophy statue, etc, etc, and then you can drone your entries through. A key thing with drones, especially if you're playing support, there's nothing wrong with being on your drone for a minute and a half at the start of the round. There's nothing wrong with that at all. If you're helping your entries get in and get picks, if anything, I'd encourage it. If you look at Pro League, a lot of the support players spend the first minute and a half at least on the drone. Another pre-placed drone I'm going to show you whilst we're on Villa, and this is really, really good. Get up onto the plant pot, and then up onto the higher area of the plant, up onto this plant pot above, and then up onto this curtain pole that you can see there, the bronze curtain pole. This drone spot comes courtesy of Mr. Potato 42, showed me this ages ago. I mean, look at that. So now, we've got an Astro flank on the Astro stairs. We've got a red flank drone on the red stairs. You can see 90, a bit of zombie. You can see if anyone comes out of pig or wolf, whatever you want to call it. See if anyone comes out of statue. This drone is insane, and it's really difficult to see. Once you've got those drones in place, these 2 aren't the best example, because these now would stay in place as flank drones. But let's just pretend this isn't being a flank drone. You then move into your next room. You've taken bathroom. Now we drone out the next room. We drone out the next room and go along as we go. One big tip when it comes to droning, on top of what I've already said, is don't just give your drone away cheaply. Obviously, don't just drive it into the site at the start of the round. But if you're droning 90 like this, and what I try and do, and sometimes it's hard to remember in the heat of the round, but just like bring it up sneakily up to 90, right? I mean, don't take forever. Get it up to 90. But then if you think someone might be 90, sort of peak 90 a little bit with the drone. Don't just sort of go out here and go, oh yeah, there's 190 bandits on one ping. Because then your drone gets destroyed. And by the time you get around to here, or by the time there's someone who's trying to get the information and to act on it gets here, bandit's now over here, or wherever bandit might be. So keeping hold of your drone and looking after them is so important. So when it comes to droning 90, have a little peek like that. And if bandit does see your drone, 1, he's got half a drone to hit, which is quite difficult. And 2, you can just jump it out the way if you need to. Another pre-placed drone whilst we're in this area, by the way, is behind this plant. We know it's there. It's really difficult to see as an attacker. Like, it's so easy to miss. But yeah, just be vigilant with your drones. Take care of them. Don't give them away. You only get 2, and they're going to give you all the information you need to win a round. Pre-place them, be careful with them, and use them more. Tip number 3, crosshair placement. The amount of times you see people walking around the map like this is insane. If somebody swings that door, obviously there's a Valk there now, but if someone swings that door now and ends up standing where Valk is, not only have I got to ADS, I've got to ADS and reposition the crosshair. If I'm walking around like this, all I've got to do is ADS. And with the AK, you don't even have to ADS. Look how tight that spray is, by the way. It's crazy accurate. It's probably the most accurate hip-fire gun along with the ARX. But my point is, even when you're walking around the map, keep your crosshair at head height. Now, knowing about head height is just something you're going to learn over time. I always try and think about it when it comes to door frames as 2/3 of the way up. So you've got 0, 33, 66, 99. And if you think about 66 being there or thereabouts for head height, you won't be far wrong. Look at a door frame. Go about 2/3 of the way up. It's about here. Keep your crosshair about the same. Lo and behold, we're on Valk's head there. Always be aiming at head height. Even when you're crouching, I would still be aiming. Obviously, when you're crouching, you're not going to be head on. You're going to be higher up. Still at head height. Again, I don't know why we see it, but the amount of players that walk around the map like this is insane. If someone's holding you down on 90, if you peek that corner like this, again, you've got to ADS and move your crosshair. If you peek it like this, your crosshair's right in place for a headshot straight away. You see all the top players doing it. And you see generally, and again, I really don't want to be derogatory to lower elo players, but you see lower elo players walking around like this. Not so much like this, obviously, but there's this sort of, I don't know if it's because it's easier to see if your crosshair gets in the way, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what it is, but yeah, crosshair placement is one of the biggest things you can do to improve, because if your crosshair's in the right place, the shooting and the shot becomes a lot easier. A lot of people say, oh, my aim's potato, my aim's not very good. Well, it's difficult to aim at someone that's going to be holding this angle if you turn the corner like this, because then you've got to move all the way up here. If your crosshair's already here, you've only got to go there. Also, try and preempt the angle, obviously, and that'll just come with time. I cannot stress enough the importance of keeping your crosshair at head height. Tip number 4, patience. Patience is so important in Siege, and a lot of players don't have it. They're too excited, they're desperate to get the kill. I'm stood here and study for a reason. This comes on to attack and defense. Now, on attack, it's about what we've talked about in tip number 1, really. Making sure you use your drones. Don't walk into rooms that you don't know is behind there. Take your time, drone it out, make sure there's nothing there. That's pretty much it on attack. On defense, attack it. I suppose both sides of the fence can say, don't force it. On defense, I'm stood on study door here, because how many times do you see a defender trying to get this kill early on in the round? And how many times do you see an attacker get a free pick from study door, and they just stand there? They can be prone, they can stand up, they can be on the right hand side, they can be low rappel, high rappel, a ton of different angles, and there's always one defender standing here going like this. Used to be the Jaeger mains, I don't know what they play these days, Alibi probably, but trying to get that kill. Now, bear in mind, in Siege, as we all know, it's a 3-minute round. As a defender, if the attackers haven't got that diffuser on the floor within 3 minutes and you're still alive, you win the round. Remember that. A key sentence that I try and say to everyone who wants to get better how to defend on Siege is, and this goes for anyone I play with, I would much rather my teammates were alive rather than taking a gunfight that they're likely to lose. Instead of risking getting a kill, I'd rather you just ran away and stayed alive, because you're more of a problem for the attackers. If the attackers see they're in a 3v2, the ascendancy is for the attackers. If the attackers see they're in a 3v3, there's a lot more to think about. So when it comes to defending, wait it out. Don't take any gunfights that you're not likely to win. Unless even like a 50-50, I would say probably not take. Unless you're in a 2v3 or a 2v4 where you've got to get picks, otherwise you're going to get swamped. So I mean, that's a classic angle. This is the other one on Villa as well. And a guy who I play with called Megabucks, who's a lovely fella. He can't, when he defends here, he plays as Frost behind the shield, and he can't help but stick his face in there 60 seconds into the round. But to be fair, he does get a lot of kills from here, so fair play, Mega. Anyway, we digress. So, I mean, this is another classic place. Defenders are just peeking this window constantly. Like, attackers know you're on this door. They know they've got to clear you out. Don't make it easy for them. Don't make it free. Make them having to force you out. Attackers have got to be in the ascendancy. Attackers have got to make the first move. Don't give them freebies. So when it comes to patience, just wait it out. Like I say, I know it sounds boring. Sometimes you've got to go for kills. And sometimes you'll have kills given to you. You know, if you hear someone on a drone the other side of this door, by all means try and get the kill. But don't take gunfights that aren't favourable. And remember, if the diffuser isn't on the floor after 3 minutes and you're still alive, defenders win the round. Tip number 5, and yes, I am going to say what I'm about to say here, feet holes. Yeah, you've heard that right, feet holes. Sledge is on 90. We can make an angle in this wall, which will mean we can see him and he can't see us. So let's just make feet holes all the way along this wall. I'm going to say feet holes a lot during this part, by the way. So there we go. Now, because we can stand further away from the feet holes than Sledge can, and this goes for a lot of sides. You see, if we stand here, you can't see the back wall of that corridor. And we back up, the way perspective works, we can now see all the way to the back wall of that corridor. If we stand here and I take control of Sledge on the keyboard quickly, and Sledge starts walking down 90, so you can see Sledge's feet. Now, obviously, you can shoot his feet, but we know if his feet's there, his head's probably likely in this area here. Sledge is never going to be able to see us before we can see him. Never in a month of Sundays. The only time is if he was perhaps to go prone. The idea of feet holes, though, is the attackers don't know they're there. If we just swap roles for a second, if I just move Sledge to behind the bar where we were, I'll show you the perspective. I can't talk. I'll show you what the perspective looks like from the other side. We're an attacker pushing 90. Remember how we could see Sledge's feet? I can see nothing of the Sledge. Unless I go prone, I can just see his feet there. But by that point, not only if I'm prone, I can see all of me, never mind just my feet. Feet holes are so applicable in so many different sides. They work this side as well, but ideally you want to play behind bar later in the round possibly, so not so much good that side. But in a lot of sides, feet holes are so important and get you so many free kills. Again, I don't want to be too derogatory, but in the lower elo, if you got an attacker pushing down here in, say, silver or even gold, they're not going to know what to do here. The beauty of those as well is the defender could be holding it from here, be holding it from behind the bar, be holding it deep, be holding it close on the pool table. There's a ton of different angles. And as an attacker, turning this corner here and seeing those feet holes, how would you even know what to peek? Like, which direction do you peek? You've got to have a guess. But by this point here, you're already dead because they can see your feet. So let me just show you one more time. If we take a sledge back up to 90, use feet holes to your advantage because perspective means you can see attackers before they can see you. So again, we can see pretty much like from the knee down on sledge there. Make use of them. Right then, final tip number 6. Stop using red pings. Stop letting the attackers know that you're watching them. A yellow ping gives exactly the same information as a red ping. If I move, you can see, if sledge moves there, you can see neither of the pings track the opponent. Neither of them move with them. It's a static ping. We all know now as Siege players that a yellow ping means someone's there. We all know that, right? When was the last time someone yellow pinged something when it wasn't a person? Nobody did. If you says you're going to like ping some utility, it comes up with what it is. It tells you that it's a drone there. Or it'll tell you that there's a Twitch drone or another piece of attacker utility that's been left around. When it comes to yellow pings, especially on defense, we all know that's a person these days. As soon as you red ping, you just let the attacker know that you're watching them. The first thing they're going to do is go, oh, I forgot to get rid of 90 cam. Let's shoot that. The amount of times we could have had free information when I'm playing, especially solo queue, and the guys on my team are just so like not necessarily lazy, but just can't be. I don't know what they like. Why would you not just do that instead of holding it? Like, I just know that yellow means there's somebody there and there's like a point of interest, usually a player. Nothing more frustrating than when you have a good vault cam setup or like under that seat there at the top red, and you've got information down here and someone starts pinging on your vault cam straight away and you're like, get off there, stop red pinging. Yellow pings give just as much information. Normalize using yellow pings. Don't let the attackers know you're watching them. So there we have it. There's 6 tips that I've used to try and improve my game, and I can guarantee you, if you do those 6 things, you'll also see improvements your side as well. I know I say this on every video, but I'll say it again. I also stream on Twitch 4 days a week, every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 PM UK time. Name on Twitch is below. It's exactly the same as YouTube. There's been a load of you come over from YouTube, and it's been quality. If you've not come over yet, go and follow it today. Get involved. Thank you. And that sums us up for this one, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.